No, it's still not safe to travel. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, Chicago, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. About a month and a half ago, I made a video that said you should not travel outside the United States unless you're a U.S. citizen. And I stand by that here as I shoot this video on the first Monday in June 2025. And the reason that I say that is this administration is not following the rules. This administration is not following the law. They are doing things that are well beyond their powers. They are grabbing power to the executive branch and claiming that they can do all these things to mess with people's immigration status. They have said, just because we're not going to process immigration benefits filed by anyone who is paroled in by Joe Biden. They have said, we're not going to process green card applications filed by people who are in the United States because they received asylum or because they came as refugees. There's no provision in the law that says that. And now they're saying we're not going to allow international students to have their visa cases processed overseas. Now, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, and this is the kind of stuff that I've been warning people about since January 20th. You have the administration taking these extreme positions and declaring classes of people inadmissible to the United States or not subject to actually coming and getting a visa to the United States. So because the government said that these international students or people who want to come to study in the United States, who have a university that wants to accept them, who've gone through the admissions process, who have the money to finance their studies, they're not going to process their cases. Why? Because Marco Rubio said so. So when it comes to travel, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, that you don't know what they're going to do while you're outside the United States. What if they said, well, we think that Joe Biden's people processed way too many marriage cases, and there were a ton of people who got their green cards without ever having an interview. And you know what? We're not going to let them back into the United States. It's national security. They can stack these rulings that they're making on top of each other, and they could take it to extreme results and say, just because we think that we have this extreme immigration view and that we are under assault and that we are at war with immigrants, that therefore we can declare a certain class of people as being unsafe to be in the United States. And therefore, because of national security and because the executive branch has such discretion on who they allow into the United States, that we're just not going to let those people in anymore. We're not going to let this group of people in or that group of people in. Or, we're still waiting for the travel ban. That's going to come. So people from countries X, Y, Z, P, and Q, you're not coming to the United States. So when you leave the United States, you have a lot less protection and safety than you do when you're inside the United States. So I will repeat again, unless you are a U.S. citizen, I believe that traveling outside the United States is not safe. Now, someone in our Immigrant Home Facebook group and in our show, the Immigration Answer Show, said that Jim is conservative on international travel. Maybe I'm right. But maybe that's right. But maybe I'm also right. Maybe I'm the one that's right. Maybe USCIS and the State Department are taking these extreme cases and not allowing people into the United States so as to send an example to people and so that people don't try to come to the United States. Because really that's what they want. They want immigration to be so uncomfortable and so painful and so uncertain that people stop coming to the United States. I saw a thing the other day that international travel to the United States is down 20%. The state of Maine, Stephen King was complaining the other day that they have a ton of Canadians who aren't coming because everyone's afraid of Donald Trump and afraid of getting sent to some gulag in Guatemala. This is what has happened with this country. And so you have to understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen and you don't have a U.S. passport and you leave the United States, there is no guarantee you're coming back. And people say, Jim, that's extreme. Jim, that's conservative. Well, maybe so. But all that matters is whether you get back in or not. If you're sitting overseas and you're not allowed back into the United States, like all these international students that went home for the summer to get their passports stamped and now they can't come back, they're screwed. What happens to your life if you're not allowed back into the United States? And let's say that it's a 1% chance of something bad happening, but it's a huge, huge consequence. So these are the things that you need to think about. How do I stay safe? The way I stay safe is I stay in the United States. So I will stand by what I said before. In fact, I will double down on what I said before. And that is, if you're not a U.S. citizen, do not leave the United States until at least next year, until at least Congress starts looking around, until at least we figure out exactly what's going on with Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and whether certain additional classes of people will not be allowed back into the United States. If you're looking for an immigration benefit and want our help, give us a call, 314-961-8200, or email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you want to follow us on Facebook, you can join our Immigrant Home Facebook group. We'd love to have you join us there. We have our YouTube channel. I have post 3 or 4 new videos a week, and we also do the Immigration Answer Show there. You can join in and ask us a question for free if you text the word show to 314-470-3300. And finally, we have our at Immigration Hacking on TikTok. We'd love to have you join us there, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks.